Good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome to League of Europe Formula 2 Division 2. We're at round 8 tonight at France at the circuit Paul Ricard. Sadly, it's just me this week to take you through it. I am Killer Blue 195. Unfortunately, Matt and Nolan can't be with us this week, but we've got 12 drivers with us, and I'm sure we're going to have cracking racing because so far this season Division 2 has always thrown up an absolute treat in Formula 2. So as I said, we're at France, not the best track for overtaking, at least in Formula 1, but in Formula 2 I'm sure we're going to see something a little bit different. As we head into qualifying, I'll just take you through the championship standings. So leading us going into round 8, we're just past halfway in the season now, so getting towards the sharp end, and it's Cali in the Virtuosi who's top with 205 points. Then we have Londa Tim in second for Carlin on 180, VTI Doc, who's not with us this evening, on 178, Ryan B on 176. That battle for second, the chasing pack trying to hunt down Cali in very close company. And then just behind that, Jordan on 153, Rocky Raccoon on 135, Alex on 124, Lars and Jerome also over the 100 mark with 110 and 102 respectively. So we're just waiting for the drives to load into quali. I have no idea who's going to be on top, but let's ride on board with the most recent race winner. It's Alt Maverick in the high-tech. So here we go. Flick it into turn 1. He takes the apex nicely there. Really tricky corner. There's a bump in the middle. The car tends to bottom out, and the rear end just steps away from you a little bit. So now come towards the tricky chicane. Down a few gears. Hook it up nicely. Don't be too aggressive with the throttle because the car can step out on you, particularly in these F2 cars. We've seen a lot of spins here in in League of Europe and Formula 2, and again Maverick just getting a little bit too happy on the throttle as he comes onto the long straight through the left kink, and now just let the car roll down the back straight. And here we come now down the Mistral straight towards the tricky chicane of 8 and 9. How much does he fancy cutting it this time? Here we go. So you've got the yellow marker there just to line up your apex, and very nicely done there. Doesn't take too much curve, keeps the car nice and settled, and then just sticks to the left hand side for the punishing turn 10. This sector 3 is torture for that front left tyre. It just does not want to grip up. It's long corner after long corner. This one feels like it lasts an age. Turn 11, and it's just a case of waiting for that moment you can pick up the throttle and hammer it down. Maverick's only in 8th place at the moment. We've got Rocky Raccoon on pole position. Maverick avoids the curbs. That's nicely done. If you take those, they will spin you out, a bit like Zandvoort there. And now we come towards 13 and 14, the last part of the lap, and you want to take a really wide line into this so you can straighten the car as early as possible and get on the throttle. And it's going to be Rocky Raccoon, I think, on pole position. Ariel Passe in second. Where does Maverick end up? Maverick 7th, so close qualifying-ish in the midfield, but Rocky Raccoon is on pole by almost half a second. So a real statement from the man who was actually leading the championship, the Northern Irishman, Rocky Raccoon 68, after the first race in Brazil. He did take victory in the Brazil feature then. Since then, he's had a quiet season. He did take the Netherlands feature. He's missed a couple of rounds as well. Not featured in the top 2, actually, since he took that win at Netherlands in round 4. But I will run you through the order. So we've got Rocky Raccoon on pole with a 43.0. Ariel Passe, another good qualifying for him. He's second on a 43.4. XL Don in third, debutising for VTI Doc this week. XL Cali championship leader fourth. Lars is fifth. Ariel Jordan is sixth. Alt Maverick 7th. Polizzi Alex 8th. ISRL Dark is 9th. Londa Tip 10th. Eisen is 11th. And Ibo is in 12th place. The last 3 not setting a valid lap. And I'm hearing there's checking in with the comments. Thank you, Maverick. Rain in the feature race. So that takes an element of the strategy out of proceedings, because of course it's only in the feature race where drivers have to make a mandatory pit stop. And look at that, that is pouring it down, isn't it? It looks like heavy rain conditions if it was in Formula 1, but they of course only get one type of wet tyre compound in Formula 2. So yeah, it does take the strategy out of it, because of course there is no longer really a mandatory pit stop. I'm not sure how well the wets are going to last. I don't think I've really done much of a wet race in these Formula 2 cars, but we'll see. My inkling is they won't have to make a stop, and then of course the same in the sprint, even though it's dry, no pit stops are mandatory, and I look forward, hopefully, to seeing Ibo do his usual soft or super soft strategy in the sprint race. So in terms of the championship, with VTI Doc not here, it's a huge miss for him. Londa Tim really needs to make ground on Cali here. He sits 25 points behind going into this round. Neither really had a standout event at Azerbaijan. Cali sneaking onto the podium in the sprint race. He seemed to struggle for pace there. Londa Tim also off the podium in both races. Ryan B, Jordan and Rocky Raccoon, the next guys behind VTI Doc, none of them got on the podium either, so I think everyone will be hoping for a better event this time round. And there we go, everyone on the wet tyres. I don't think they really get an option given the conditions. I don't think in Formula 1 you choose between inters and wets, but I digress. So as I said, Rocky Raccoon on pole, and he needs this. He looked really quick at Brazil. He was very lightning out the blocks. In the sprint race, it didn't quite happen for him. He had a bit of a messy affair there in Brazil, but no one can doubt his pace. He had an outstanding start to the season, and I'm just wondering, he really, really needs this to get on top of things. Same said for Passe, actually. Passe, he's a bit of an enigma in Formula 2. Always qualifies well, always seems to have a suboptimal first lap, and then he'll end up somewhere 6th or 7th. And I think he's threatened race wins a lot this season. He's not attended the last 2 events at Russia and Azerbaijan, but before that he's looked really promising. I think China was one that stood out for me, where he looked really strong, and it just didn't quite happen for him. But yeah, he's threatened a lot. He's doing very well in the Formula 1 side, in Division 5. He's very much in the title battle there, but in Formula 2 it's not quite happening for him, though he has improved a lot since the start of the season. And Don is another one, only a reserve driver, but he's had shown some really interesting pace when he's turned up, and he's looked really solid, if only for his consistency. And then Cali is, I think, the master of consistency. The fact that he has only won one race this season and finds himself leading the championship when Londa Tim behind him has won 3, including both Abu Dhabi races. And so I think everyone just needs to find their feet. We've had quite a pacey formation lap here. I think Rocky Raccoon really wants to get a sense of the conditions and how they behave, or how the car behaves in the rain, because it's the only experience I'm sure these guys will have of this track in these conditions in this car. So it's best to go out there with some pace and have a really strong sighting lap. The field is quite strung out as they come through to the grid, and we're on board with the championship leader XL Cali. So I'm not a betting man, I've never placed a bet in my life, but if I was to make some predictions, I think Rocky Raccoon will have the pace to see this off if he navigates lap 1. It's going to be out who's on medium traction control, who can get these cars off the line nicely, and everyone is just coming into position now. So we just have to wait for the last lights. Ibo takes his place in P12. So the engines are firing. I'd love to be able to see the lights. There we go. 3 lights, 4, 5. It's Raccoon on your right, Passe on your left, and we're underway. A really slow start from Don in P3. He gets swallowed up in the midfield, but it's Rocky Raccoon who leads them away. Jordan's had a really good start as well on the outside, on the left-hand side of your screen there, as they rattle down towards turn 1. Rocky Raccoon retains the lead from Jordan. Passe dropped another position on the opening lap, and Londa Tim, I think it is behind there. We've got a bit of a timing tower glitch, but Jordan's had a mega start, hasn't he? Already up into 2nd place, and as they follow him through, I imagine they're going to be quite tentative these first few laps, just find their way through the conditions. We've got a couple of stragglers at the back. Eisen and Ibo really dropped off. Other than that, it's pretty much as you were. No collisions. I can't see any front wings flying in the background. And oh, it's Cali in 2nd. My apologies, Jordan, of course, in the red UNI. It's Cali in 2nd, so that is vital for him that he's still ahead of all of his championship rivals. And Londa Tim, awful start. He's the one at the back. Sorry for my confusion with the timing tower. And here comes Maverick fighting Jordan as they come towards the chicane in the middle of the Mistral Straight at turn 8. Jordan has another look up the inside. Maverick goes a bit deep, and through mid-corner, and Jordan just drives away through him with it. Take that shallower line, better traction. We've got the two MPs or Camposes, I think, fighting at the back, is it? No, it's just another time attack glitch. Thank you, Codemasters. And we actually got Dark. I think he spun coming out of turn 9, that chicane, so that's very costly for him. I don't think he has any damage, but as they come towards the end of lap 1, timing has finally sorted itself out. So it's Rocky Raccoon that leads Cali. Passe is third, only one position drop for him. Alex is fourth. Cali taking a very wide line there through turn 12, and already a second ahead is Cali, and here comes Passe, and Alex is that side by side, and Passe's off the road, and we've got wing damage for Ariel Passe. That was very costly mistake for him. I'm not sure what happens, but he's diving into the pits, and I said he needs to maximise his chances when he gets them. He has not done that again from second on the grid. He's already losing places, and well, we've got a little train here as well at the end of that one behind Jordan, so Jordan leads Lars. Don slipped back from where he started, and actually Don's coming up the inside of Eisen now. Sorry, Lars is that into turn 1, and Lars is very giving with the amount of space he leaves. Don respectful, doesn't try and run him out of the road. Verstappen and Hamilton, Spain style in Lars, defends that position nicely for now, and Cali was a second behind Rocky Raccoon at the start of the lap. He's now half a second behind, so maybe he's found a little bit more confidence, and Rocky Raccoon takes a much wider line through turn 5 as they head onto the straight. I wonder if Cali's going to get any kind of slipstream, but further back everyone's squirming away under these wet weather conditions. Maverick is already 3 seconds adrift of Alex. He's leading quite the train here. Is our Baku sprint race winner. He's got Jordan and Lars, Dom, Eisen, Tim all bottled up behind him, and Cali still making progress on Rocky Raccoon. 4/10 of a second is the gap, and it is difficult to make overtakes in these conditions as Cali just gets a little bit of wheel spin there, and I wonder how many overtakes we're actually going to see today that aren't driven by unforced errors, because there's going to be no DRS, of course. There's no energy deployment like there is in Formula 1, so these guys are going to need some kind of mistake, and there's Londa, Tim and Dark going side by side through what would have been the flat turn 10. Here comes Tim, he's got the inside line back, I think, and Dark goes very deep. He was generous amount of space again, and he just understeers. The car just walks off the track there. They nearly bump wheels on the exit, and who's got more bravery on throttle? It is Londa Tim, the German, takes P8, but that's caused them to drop back a little bit from the train ahead of them, and Jordan actually dropped back from Maverick, so I said this was a Maverick train, maybe it's a Jordan train. And lap 2 again, Cali still edging closer to Rocky Raccoon, a few hundreds closer on this occasion. Raccoon having a bit of a squirm coming out of the last corner. It's the gap as they come across the line is less than 3/10 of a second. Alex is looking very pacey as well. Look at that fast lap of the race for him, 59.0. He's well within this battle. Ibo gets a penalty for speeding as he comes into the pits, but so we've got these really interesting battles manifesting, and we've got I miss any overtakes, I do apologise. It's but we've got Don and Eisen, so Don's now got wing damage. So well, I said any overtakes were going to come from unforced errors or collisions, but and further up, Lars is having a poke up the inside of Jordan. That was ill-advised. I wonder if he's just trying to spook Jordan into missing the apex altogether and try and drive some driving advantage coming onto the straight. And here we go. Cali isn't close enough on this lap, I don't think, and Jordan picks up our first penalty of the race on the exit of turn 7, and he's fallen back from Maverick 3 seconds already. So I wonder that kerfuffle that gave Don some damage actually slowed this whole group of cars up, because Jordan does not look confident right now, does he? Lars all over the man like a rash there, and actually Jordan had a really poor exit coming out of turn 9, and how brave is Lars going to be? Pulls that inside on the wet line, and he hugs up the curb. Jordan's right there on the outside, they're side by side, and Londa Tim's looking at this as well. Lars goes up the inside, they both walk wide going off the track, and is Tim going to squeeze up the inside, and he's pinched on the apex by Jordan. Jordan cuts across him, and Londa Tim is tipped into a spin. He'll fall all the way back down behind Don into P9, and I think Jordan just wasn't quite aware of how close the Carlin was behind him there, because that looked like Jordan just walked across the front of Tim, and he was well within his rights to be there. The other two, it looked like they'd taken themselves out of it a little bit, and that gave Tim all the incentive he needed to get close. And another fast lap to Cali, 3/10 improves on Alex's effort from the last lap, but Maverick beats that. Maverick's found some pace after these opening laps. He's too got a penalty now though, and you have to say Callie looks so much more confident, doesn't he? Sticking to Rocky Raccoon like glue. The gap, quarter of a second. It's not usually easy to follow at those kind of distances, because when you tucked up another car like that, you can't usually spot your braking point, spot your apexes in the same way you would. Again, another little squirt of Rocky Raccoon coming out of turn 5, and I wonder, is this Callie's opportunity? No DRS of course, but he will have slipstream, and if he's got that confidence he might be getting a better exit, although the gap slips just 0.6 of a second. And I wonder, is this just par for the course now for this race? We're only on lap 4, but if Callie can't get the exit out of turn 6 and 7, there's no way he's going to be close enough to make any kind of move on Rocky. He looks much more confident in the last part of the lap. That's where he's sticking really to the back of the Premium, where he's closing up on him, because they seem a lot closer down the front straight than down the Mistral straight. So we'll see how that evolves. Maverick, as I said, joining this battle a little bit. Lars, now he's cleared Jordan, isn't slipping back quite as much as the Scot was in the sister UNI. So one UNI going very strongly in P2, the other slipping back a little bit into P6. And in fact, I'll just have a quick look at the position changes. Yeah, so Callie, Alex, Maverick all making good progress. Jordan's ended up where he started by virtue of passing Passe and Don, but he's lost out to those ahead of him, Alex and Maverick. So and he's actually got Eisen closing towards him, I think, a little bit. So the main battle on track seems to be Don and Tim. Tim continuing a recovery from what was a fairly poor qualifying, and that spin as well. Don has that major damage you can see there, and in fact Codemar's giving me a good angle. Look how much speed the Carlin has compared. He just nearly drove around the outside of him at the last corner. You can send it into the last corner, you don't usually send it around the outside, and here he does. He pulls out the slipstream, tucks to the inside line, and I don't think Don is going to fight this one too hard, is he? Oh no, he is. Don's going to cover that position. He won't have much downforce to fight with, but he'll hang it out as long as he can. But Tim up into 8th place, and that is crucial because that is reverse sprint pole, but he's got another 3 seconds to chase up the road to Eisen. Other than that, we don't have anyone really sitting in close proximity to the car in front. The exception is XL Callie, who is chasing very hard on Rocky Raccoon. He's closer this lap than he was last time round, but is it going to be enough? Because you only go down to around, I'll check, 2nd gear in F1 cars. That's a 4th gear corner, turn 8. So the braking zone isn't really long enough to send it. But Rocky Raccoon, poor exit there out of turn 9. He defends the inside line, but that's going to give Callie a much shallower line through turn 10. Can he carry more speed to run it around the outside? No, he backs out. But you have to feel any mistake Rocky Raccoon makes now, Callie is going to jump all over him. He's going to seize that position. Alex and Maverick have dropped back a little bit. I think Rocky Raccoon has found some pace, but Callie, he struggled for pace last week at Azerbaijan, but he's on another level here, isn't he? He's hounding the back of that Prima, looking for any extra lines he can take that might give him a whiff of an advantage. Just to check in with Passe, he did do a fast lap race last time round, so unfortunate for him that he had that poor first lap, because he's got pace. And here is that Maverick's had a spin coming out of turn 12. Easy place to drop it on the traction. I think that's exactly what he's done, because Lars is through and up into 4th place, and that drops Maverick straight back into the clutches of Jordan and Eisen. I said Eisen was catching Jordan, and he's done that. But here comes Callie. He's down the outside of Rocky Raccoon in turn 1. How much space is Rocky Raccoon going to give him? And he brushes across the middle of the track, covers the apex of turn 2, but that compromises his exit down this short run to 3. Callie's got the outside line. He can carry more speed through there, pinches Raccoon up against the apex, and I think these are just going to be side by side all the way to the straight, because of course you can have the inside line, but if you take the wider line you can carry more speed. That's exactly what Callie's done. This is fabulous racing between these two. Absolute respect given, but it is cracking stuff, and this time it's Callie that's pinched up against the apex of turn 7, and Rocky Raccoon will carry more speed down, but Callie tucks into the slipstream. Is Raccoon going to defend left, or is he going to defend right? He covers the outside line. He wants to take that racing line into the corner. Callie backs out on this occasion, and he has a little slide for his troubles coming over the curb, turn 8. But Rocky Raccoon has a bigger one out of 9, and is he going to cover the outside line? He doesn't. He left Callie space. I think he could have just pinched across the track there if he wanted to. It gives Cali the inside line, and this battle is bringing Alex right into play, isn't it? Cali's in the inside line. Rocky Raccoon trying to hang it out, but finally, on lap 6, he has to concede, and Cali takes the lead. And now, can our championship leader take this race by the scruff of the neck and start pulling away? Because it looks like he's got the speed to do so. Alex now was 2 seconds behind, now just half a second off this battle, and Rocky Raccoon really not enjoying these conditions, is he? He sleepwalks round turn 12, runs very wide, and Cali's already pulled out 7/10 on him. I wonder if, again, Rocky Raccoon's so deep into turn 14. He just doesn't look happy, the Prima driver. Does not look happy at all. I'll drop further back to the other main battle track right now, which is Jordan, Eisen and the Tim. The Tim's already caught up to the back of these, and he's trying to continue his progress through the field. In fact, look at this, Alex tucked right into Rocky Raccoon, who's now second behind Cali, and, well, the Carlins are on the charge, aren't they? Because it looked like Alex was getting past Raccoon, and here comes Tim up the inside of Jordan. Nicely done. Not Jordan, Eisen. Eisen didn't give him any trouble, didn't feel in too much of a mood for a fight, and gave up that position. And I wonder if he's going to try and sit in Tim's DRS, or his slipstream, and pick up a chance if there's any possibility that Tim, in trying to pass Jordan, compromises him. And here he goes up the inside. This is normally an overtaking place, but Jordan made the mistake, or Tim forced it, and is this going to be Tim taking the place? Jordan has the inside. He's able to sweep that speed down into the straight. Another fastest lap for Passe, but Jordan's defending fresh air. They're trying to break the toe. I don't think it's going to make any difference to Tim, because he'll just follow whichever way the UNI goes. But yeah, I wonder if Eisen is just sitting. He let Tim go, just sit in this battle and hope that either they take each other out, or that Tim forces Jordan into some kind of mistake, and Eisen, who will sense his real fight, is with Jordan, can pick up a place there, and Jordan pulls to the inside of turn 10, and I don't think there was ever going to be a move going there, but you can see what Tim's trying to do. He's trying to spook Jordan into making that mistake I mentioned, and you can see it because Jordan is twitching through every corner. He's trying to defend every single line. You just pick one and stick to it. Don't worry about what the guys behind you, and if you drive quickly, they're not going to have a chance to force it. But look, Tim is forcing these mistakes. Jordan is having so many missed apexes here, and here comes the Carlin. Has he got enough of a run? Is he going to send it into turn 13? Turn 14, sorry. I don't think he is, but Jordan made another mistake. Another mistake. He went so deep, and well, they're side by side through the last corner. I think Tim took a wide line. He straightened the car up nice and early, got a better traction. Jordan will try and tow him back, and has Jordan got enough overspeed here in turn 1? Is he going to brake late? He is braking late, but I don't think he had quite enough bravery to send that on Tim. I think Tim is the quicker car in this phase of the race, and Jordan has to back out of it. He's not going to get DRS course to try and chase that back, and this will put Eisen, or kept Eisen, right on the tail of the UNI driver. But Tim is through. His upward progress continues, and he was down in 10th place after that spin where Jordan initially clipped him down at turn 11, but Tim making back good progress. He's back up into 6th place now, and with a penalty for Jordan, Jordan is actually in. Oh, he's not in. He needs to get a gap to Don, otherwise Don is on sprint race pole right now. Jordan has to get a move on with that penalty. And go back to our other battle on track. It's Rocky Raccoon versus Alex, and well, we'll see what Alex has in store. I did wonder if Rocky Raccoon was actually his fight with Cali was what was, you know, bringing Alex into play. But you have to say, Cali's pulled out near thick end of a 2-second lead over the Prima, and Alex is still sticking with him. So there is pace in that Cali, and well, Cali comes up to lap Ibo. So Ibo diplomatically gets out of the way in the most extremist of ways, in the way Ibo only knows how. So let's have a look back. We've got that Jordan Eisen battle. I don't think Eisen is going to be fighting that one too hard. You can see Jordan's got a penalty, so if Eisen just keeps it within the white lines, he'll have no troubles pinching a place off Jordan. And we've actually got Lars into the pits. I wonder if he's got damage there. No front wing change, he's just doing a change of tyres. So I did speculate at the start if this was going to be a one-stop race or a no-stop race, and we've got Dart coming in as well, so there are some pit stops happening. So it's quite late in the day for that. We're well past... Well, we are. At the end of that, we'll be well past half the distance, so I'm surprised that if they feel the need to come in, that nobody else has by this point. You'd think if there was an undercut going, one of these guys would grab the chance, particularly likes of Alex on Rocky Raccoon, or even Eisen on Jordan, or even De Tim trying to gain some places. Penalty for Alex, that's very costly, and that gives Rocky Raccoon some breathing space, although Alex has now dropped out of 1 second behind the Prima. So, we're 8.5 laps in. It looks like Callie's got this one covered for now. Rocky Raccoon is edging a little bit between the two of them. 10th here, 10th there. It was 1.8, dipped to 1.6, now 1.7. So I think they're just trading very very light blows between them right now. Alex, penalty, has kind of taken himself out of it. Maverick, some way adrift, 8.1 seconds. He has a 2.5 second gap to Tim, who is closing in fairly quickly, and of course Tim doesn't have that penalty, so I think that's at least one more place for the German man. Jordan's already fallen back considerably. Ibo, thought that was a car going wide, but it's Ibo getting out of the way as he does. So yeah, our main battles right now I think are Jordan and Eisen. Ibo actually get a 10-second penalty for letting cars lap him. So Jordan Eisen is our main penalty. Jordan's penalty has taken is our main battle. Sorry, Jordan's penalty has taken the sting out of that one, and the same goes for Alex and Rocky Raccoon. Just keep it in the white line, guys. Don't get penalties, because it takes the fun out of some of these battles when you know that it's just for pride and not for a race position. To Tim, now he's got clean air, lapping very quickly, 56.7 for him. I wonder how that pace compares to Callie. We'll just have a quick look. Callie doing respectably mid to low 57s, still improving. I'd expect most of these drivers to improve as the race goes on, as they find confidence. Tim's on lapping in the 56s though when he's got clean air, so I think if he hadn't had that spin, Tim could have been trying to get in amongst these guys in the battle for the win. And actually, Rocky Raccoon, I said Callie had it covered. I covered myself by saying the words "for now," and the Prima man is coming back at Callie. Another few tenths chiselled away, the gap 1.3 seconds. Callie is in all this excitement, I mean, I'm kidding myself, the excitement, we've not seen too many overtakes on track, but it has stopped raining. So when I said those guys pitted, did they pit for dry tyres? They didn't. They came in for another set of wets. Lars and Dark. Did they know it was going to dry up? Because we can see now clearly the rain has stopped. Dry tyres might be around the corner, because if you run in with wet tyres on a dry track, even though it's such a long pit lane here, that goes very deep at turn 8, you can gain seconds a lap by being on the dry tyres. If you pitted now, if it's already dry tyre conditions, you could make that up by the end of the race, and then some. Callie stays out, Rocky Raccoon stays out, Alex stays out. I think that's because we've not had DRS enabled message, although none of these cars are kicking up spray. Would someone like an Eyes or a Don perhaps fancy their chances of popping on some dry tyres? I think I'm being optimistic there. And we've got a mistake. Callie's made a huge mistake coming out of the last corner, because Rocky Raccoon was not that close, and Alex right at the back of him as well. Rocky Raccoon takes the lead. Callie tight line through one. Is that going to give Alex a chance? And indeed, Jordan and Don are coming into the pits, but Rocky Raccoon takes the lead of this race, and I don't think they were that close. Did Callie make a mistake possibly out of the last corner while I was rambling? I'm not used to this solo commentary business, so I do apologise for anything I miss. But yeah, we've got a couple of guys in, and we'll see. Is that for dry tyres? It is for dry tyres. Front wing change for Don. Dry tyres for Jordan. How much quicker are these guys going to be? We'll keep an eye on the sec times if we can. But yeah, I think that mistake is really not Callie's rhythm, because Rocky Raccoon has pulled away after Callie had looked comfortable for so long since he took the lead, and Alex is keeping closer to Callie than Callie is to Rocky Raccoon. You have to say right now, but are any of these guys going to pit? That's the thing. Do you roll the dice? They're both squirming away through the chicane, turn 8 and 9. These tyres are not going to be feeling particularly nice right now. It's certainly, I mean, if you're Eisen, I think you've got a case to be made. We've got a yellow flag. That's Don that's causing that. I think he must have had a little mistake out of turn 2. Nice little sheen on those tyres, bit of shininess. So I think we're looking at fully dry conditions, but they may well be quicker than the wets. It's just a case, are they quicker enough that you can pull that time back in 4 laps? Rocky Raccoon understeers like a boat through turn 12. Cali wasn't close enough to take advantage, but gained a couple of tenths. This is the question, are they going to come into the pits? And Cali's coming in, but Rocky Raccoon stays out. Alex is coming in, and now this race has come alive here, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got a hunt on our hands. It's going to be Rocky Raccoon versus Cali and Alex for the last few laps. These softs are going to be quicker, but are they going to be quick enough? That is the question. And let's have a look at who's on what tyres now. So we've got Cali on softs, Alex is going to be on softs, and Rocky Raccoon's got a penalty. That could be huge because Cali doesn't have one. So Cali's now, like I said, got to pass Rocky Raccoon. He's just got to get within those 3 seconds. Jordan, Don, Passe also on softs. Everyone's coming in now. ISRL Dark, are you coming in? He's not, but he's not going to gain any places, and that's a strange call from Dark, I have to say. At the gap from Cali to Raccoon, 24.9 seconds coming out of the pits. He needs to gain about 7 seconds a lap, just under 6 seconds a lap to make this work. And the delta between two tyres is just only going to increase as time goes on. And Jordan and Eisen are now very close, I think. And these tyres are going to get bottled up behind Dark, who's not pitted. He's committed to staying on the wets. So look how slow Dark is through turn 4. The car has no speed at all. Braking, turning, traction, it's not there for any of them. Cali's taken a second out of Rocky Raccoon this lap, and Dark understeers like crazy through 7. And Jordan and Eisen slip by, and Eisen's got DRS, but Jordan picked up DRS luckily off the back of, ironically, Eisen's teammate. But Eisen's got enough of a slipstream. Jordan covers the inside line, he shapes to the left. Eisen backs out of it, doesn't want to take that chance, and Cali another second as he comes into sector 3. See how much more he gains between now and the end of the lap. Rocky Raccoon's got to stay out, he's got to commit to that strategy now. He's got to do another 3 laps on these tyres, but they are going to be awful. Overheating, wearing like crazy on the last lap. And behind, Tim passes Dark, and that was no surprise given Dark's strategy. And is this going to give Tim a chance to get in amongst these guys again? So not sure what happened to Tim. Did he stay out an extra lap? Is that what cost him to Jordan Eisen? Because he was ahead of these guys. And, I'm not sure. It must have ended up behind him through the pit stop because we didn't see any yellow flags for a spin or anything. So I think staying out for Tim was costly. Cali fast lap 55.5. The gap's 19.3 seconds between himself and Rocky Raccoon, and he needs to take. He's got 3 laps left. He needs to take over 6 seconds out of Rocky Raccoon this lap. He's already done 1. And here we go. Dark abandons his attempts to stay on the wets and comes in for softs. I think Rocky Raccoon's had a boo-boo here. Eisen's not close enough for Jordan. He does spook him into taking a wider line. And again, it just when you're able to spook guys like that, make them take a slower line, a wider line, it just lets you stay on their gearbox that a bit longer. And the longer you're behind them, the more they feel threatened. Jordan covering fresh air through the section corners. I can't really see a way for Eisen to get through, but Jordan's defending nonetheless. And Tim, look how close he's back, and we're right aboard with Tim. Gav at the front, 15 seconds are leaving it there on the left hand side. So you can see Jordan covers the left hand side of the track. I don't think he's got anything here. Eisen's got so much overspeed. Jordan moves back to the right. He's trying to break the slipstream, but Eisen's comfortably got this one in the bag. Jordan's going to fight it back, I think. I shouldn't speak too soon, because here comes Jordan. Eisen leaves him a wide berth at turn 8. And who's got the straighter line coming out of the corner? It's Jordan, but Londa Tim, not compromised having to go through an overtake. He's got tremendous overspeed on all of them. And Eisen can't do anything. He's boxed in here, and Tim slips up the inside through 10. That was fabulous driving from the Carlin driver. And now he sends it on Jordan into turn 11. That is risky, dicey stuff, but Jordan gives him the space. And Jordan's got the inside line, and Cali... what am I saying? Tim tries to cut underneath Jordan, made a late move there, and the Carlin driver gets front wing damage. That was costly. He was too eager, he needed some patience. Jordan was 12 seconds up, Maverick was 12 seconds up the road. There was never a risk of making another overtake, so Tim, my man, you're in a championship fight, but you didn't need to take that risk. He's going to try and go for it still. But with that front wing, it's going to be awful, awful feeling in that car. So much understeer, because I don't think the track will be at its quickest yet. He cuts across Jordan. That was very naughty from Tim. He barged, or pincered Jordan right up against the white line, forced him off track, had to slow down, get out of the corner, and it cost him a lot of time. But up front, I think we could see the lead change hands between now and the end of the lap, because Callie, with 1.5 laps to go, is 4 seconds behind Rocky Raccoon. Rocky rolled the dice, he took the chance, he saw the opportunity for the win. He could have just covered what Callie did and matched him. He was in the lead of the race, of course. I know from experience that when you're leading the race and the conditions are changing, don't stay out, because you just end up getting swallowed up at the end. Probably thought there weren't enough laps left, but you can see how much Callie's closing up through 11, that it looks like Rocky's basically in AI or slowing down, and in fact I don't think Rocky Raccoon was fighting that. He got straight out of the throttle and realised that he had lost this fight. But he can't afford to pit now, because if he pits, he's just going to lose out to Tim, Eisen, Jordan perhaps. Tim is still hanging on to this position with his front wing damage from Eisen. He doesn't have a penalty, so he can afford to let Eisen go. I don't think Eisen's going to get 3 seconds on him. And there goes Alex round the outside of the last corner. You can see how awful that car looks to drive. Those tyres will be crying out in terms of temperatures, in terms of their wear, just in the general feeling. They are not made for these conditions. And yeah, Rocky Raccoon's going to get taken by Maverick as well. Maverick has got multiple penalties. Well, no, he hasn't got multiple penalties. So yeah, there goes Maverick into turn 4, or turn 3, sorry. And I wonder, I said Tim wasn't going to catch Maverick. Of course he wasn't. But could he catch, could he get within 3 seconds of Rocky Raccoon? Got to find 10 seconds on this last lap. And if he does, I wouldn't put it past him. There is a chance of 4th place for the German. He's taken 1.3 seconds already on this lap. I don't think it's enough though. He's got that front wing damage, of course. It's going to be a very, very costly. Fastest lap for Dom. Eisen, if he had a chance of getting back past to Tim, he ruined it with the way he understeered wide at 6. I wonder if that was just some of the dirty air which cost him a lot of time there. So I think, is that your lot? You can see the blistering on the... And actually, Rocky Raccoon's got a puncture. He's got a front right puncture. I said those tyres were going to be awful. And, well, I think this does give Tim the position. I think it might even give Eisen the position as well, because that car is going to be awful to drive. It's got now a rear right puncture as well. Double puncture for Rocky Raccoon on the right hand side of that car. It's not going to grip up round the right turns because the car's loaded up, and there he goes, tipped into a half spin. It was a costly mistake. Tell you who didn't make a mistake though, XL Callie, and here he comes on the last lap. He crosses the line. He made the right decision with those tyres at the end. Played the low risk game, played the numbers game. He's thinking about the championship and takes a sensational win. Didn't get a penalty, drove a splendid race, and it's his 2nd win of the season after the Zandvoort feature, I think, or the Russia feature, sorry. So 2nd win of the season, and Rocky Raccoon plummeting. It was worth a try, my friend, but it didn't come off. And I think Lars is actually gonna... He's 5 seconds behind Lars in terms of penalties. Is he going to get to the line in time? Because that car is trundling along, but he just about... He makes it by 0.2 of a second. Rocky Raccoon nearly lost 5 seconds between the apex of the last corner and the start-finish line there with his double puncture. So, it was a slow burner, that one, but we got there in the end with a cracking finale. In the end, yeah, staying out, not the right call for Rocky Raccoon. It cost him and then some. But you know, when you're in his position, he's 80 points, 70 points off the lead of the championship with Callie. He knows he's quick. You got to take those risks if you want to make it work. It didn't work on this occasion. The track dried out far too quickly. But take nothing away from Callie. He drove a faultless race. And all credit to him as well. Like I said, his 2nd win of the season. He's got a few other podiums to his name. That is his 8th podium of the season. And now I'll just run you through the results ahead of the sprint race. So it's XL Cali who wins, one of just 3 drivers who didn't pick up a penalty. 29 minutes 25 seconds was the race time, just under half an hour. Very nice race indeed. So he wins from 4th on the grid. Alex is 2nd after starting 8th. Maverick gets back-to-back podiums with 3rd place. A really nice understated drive from him, but he did a cracking job, didn't he? Londa Tim 4th, recovered from his poor grid position and then his spin. Nice drive from him. ISRL Eisen, another great improvement from 11th to 5th. Ariel Jordan is 6th. Rocky Raccoon is 7th. He'll get another crack at starting on the front row because he'll be lining up 2nd in the sprint race. It's Lars on pole, down 3 places. He made 2 stops, made an inexplicable stop for another set of wet tyres. But he's going to be on sprint race pole, and then it's Don Passe who started 2nd on the grid. Unfortunate race for him. Dark and Ibo round out the order. Now I'm just going to take a 20-second break for a quick drink, and then I will be back with you for the sprint race, which fortunately is nice and dry, and hopefully we get a little bit of mayhem, but nice clean mayhem. Good overtakes. We don't want to see front wings flying, do we? So we're back for the sprint race, and as I said, it's Lars and Rocky on the front row. Rocky gets another bite of the cherry to see if he can convert from a strong grid position. Jordan's 3rd, Eisen's 4th, Tim's 5th, Maverick is 6th, Alex 7th, Cali of course in 8th place with that feature race victory. We'll have a quick look at the tyres. Ibo doing the Lord's work, starting on softs. What a legend. We stand. But just to reflect a little bit on the feature race, that race, I think, has put Cali in an extremely commanding position in terms of the championship, because he had a 25-point lead anyway going into the event from Londa Tim, and by virtue of the fact that he won and Tim was only 4th, that lead will extend somewhat. And in 3rd place is Vitaly Dock in the standings, and he of course isn't racing with us this week. And in 4th place is Ryan B, who also isn't racing with us this week. So it's a big event for Cali and Tim. They need to have 2 strong results to put some breathing space between themselves and the guys behind. I think it's safe to say that Cali is already well that way, and Tim had a really strong result as well. His qualifying did let him down, but Jordan is another one who needs a good result. I mean, he only finished 6th in the feature race. He would have hoped for more, because with Ryan and Doc out of this race, he has a chance to make big gains on them. But it's not really happening right now. He's starting 3rd in the sprint, so we'll see what he can do from there. He did show flashes of strong race pace. I think he was the most consistent out there. I just noted that Lars and Rocky are going on a very hasty formation lap there, in a hurry, I think, to get this one started and perhaps finished, and perhaps they've got something else to get onto. But a very quick formation lap from those two, because Jordan is only now, as you can see in the back of the picture, coming round the last corner. So, of course, just to remind you of the rules, there is no need for a pit stop. They can make one, but they're under no obligation to, unlike in the feature race. They can take a set of hard tyres, a fresh set of hard tyres, and run them all the way to the end, apart from Ivo, who likes to try the softs. If only to get some screen time. But here we go. Lars on your right on pole position. Rocky Raccoon is on your left. Jordan and Eisen just behind them. We have 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and they're underway. It's another great start for Lars, but Rocky Raccoon will tuck straight into his slipstream, and in fact he kicks across the track and nearly takes out Eisen. They're 4 wide coming to turn 1. Eisen's fully off the track. It's Jordan that has the inside line. He gets pinched up against the curb. Lars just about comes through that on top, and they're all getting pinched, and then Lars is turned around and there's a huge crash there. Jordan's taken out of it as well, and there are at least 4 cars instigating that. It's Rocky Raccoon who now leads. Eisen is second. Londa Tim is in third. Cali is already up into P4 from 8th on the grid there, look. And Maverick and Passe are going side by side behind him, coming onto the main straight. But that was as good a start as Rocky Raccoon needed. From getting pole, the feature did not go his way, but he's got the chance here. And here comes Cali in his championship rival Londa Tim Slipstream. This could be a crucial move for the championship with just a few rounds to go. And Cali's brave on the brakes and goes around the outside. Is he going to run Tim out of road? He's very respectful, and Tim is able to pinch the inside line, and he's got the car straight nice and early. Here comes Cali in the Slipstream. He has to pull out, otherwise he's going to run into the back of that car then. Is he going to run all the way outside? That was nearly an airplane crash, wasn't it? Cali has to settle for 4th place for now, but it's been an epic start for him. And you have to say, look at that behind. Passe just back as well, and Maverick and Don are going side by side for good measure behind them. And no move going for Don, but it's a tasty battle we've got here. I'm surprised Londa Tim isn't quicker than that on that. I mean, that maybe Cali was just injecting a little bit of fear into the Carlin man, and he's having to focus more on behind him than the road in front of him. So, well, that was a mad first lap, wasn't it? And it ends with Rocky Raccoon with a 1 second lead from ISRL Eisen. It's Londa Tim in 3rd, XL Cali is 4th, Passe is 5th, Maverick is 6th, Don is 7th, Dark is 8th, Alex 9th, Ibo up 2 places to 10th. Jordan and Lars having that calamity, but confess I'm not too sure what happened through turns 1 and 2. It looked like it was just a case of 5 or 300 cars into one doesn't go, and here we got Tim and Cali, our championship protagonists, battling away through turn 6. Tim has to cover the inside line, and through 5. That just put him a little bit out of shape for the apex of 6. Left Cali right on his gearbox, and now Cali's got tremendous slipstream. After that, Tim pulls aggressively to the left hand side of the track to try and block him. He can't make another move now, but here comes Cali, he's alongside, and Tim just gives him a little edges towards the right side of the track. Just reminds Cali that, hang on, you're not coming through here, sunshine, and has the position covered off. Cali, a little bit of a wheel spin coming out of turn 9, which just sets him back a little bit. This is our main battle on track right now, and it's between the 2 championship challengers. It's Tim and Cali. Passe and Maverick are really close behind, and look at that. Maverick is he takes a much tighter line through 10. Passe will get the car straightened sooner, so he'll have a cleaner run towards turn 11 or turn 12, sorry. Well, this is a battle that I hope we see evolve over the whole race. Rocky Raccoon has a 1.9 second lead, and we're only at the end of lap 2, so much better race this time for the Northern Irishman. But we are looking at Tim and Cali, because this is a train that extends all the way back to Alex in 9th place. And of course now it's lap 3, DRS is enabled, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. So, who fancies going for a move? In fact, Cali is bumping Don to Tim round turn 2. Tim has to... See, this is the trouble when you got a car so close behind you. Tim is having to cover the inside line. He's having to walk towards the middle of the track every single corner in case Cali fancies a move. He's having to cover off every apex. And when you do that, you're trading away lap time like crazy, because you're taking a compromised line into every single corner. And it just has the effect of slowing you down even more. I think we're going to see a switch here, because here comes Cali, DRS, slipstream. Tim doesn't even bother defending it. He sticks to the right side of the track. Cali pulls out, tucks back into the racing line, runs a little bit deep, and Don, look at that, goes very deep as we look back from the UNI, and where's he going to slot back in there? And it's behind Alex. He gets out of the way, and so very, very, very costly for Don. And Jordan is past Ibo as well after his first lap. And what is that? Dark, you are... There's a polystyrene board there, mate. You're not meant to run into it. Here comes Passe up the inside of Tim, and well, this has been a torrid lap for Tim. Tim, hasn't he? 2 places down, one to his championship rival, and another one that cuts him further adrift to his championship rival. He needs to beat Cali. After each race, he can't afford to keep finishing behind the XL driver, but so he is right now. He's in 5th place, Cali's in 3rd, and Cali will not be complaining if it finishes like that. And we have to say, looking at that from that high angle shot, that actually Maverick is carrying much more speed. Alex comes into the pits, must have had some damage or something going there, and the DRS train will neutralise any advantage Maverick has over Londa Tim. So he's not going to get the benefit really of the slipstream and DRS because Tim has it on the back of Passe as well. But you can just see by the way Maverick's closing out of turn 2 that right now Tim doesn't look too happy, does he? I think his head's a bit flustered, or he's a bit irritated, or he's just not feeling as confident as he was in the rainy conditions of the feature race. But Maverick looks quick here, doesn't he? He's had 2 podiums in his last 3 races now, and he can sense another position or 2. Look at that, look how slow Tim was off the back of turn 7, and he'll cover the inside line. But Maverick's he's got the advantage of going down the outside. He can carry more speed through the apex of turn 7, and indeed he does. And he's now got the inside for 8. Tim, he parks the car on the apex. Tim has to get out of it a little bit. Has a big squirm over there, does Maverick, and now they are going to run side by side all the way down to the fast, flat right-hander of turn 10. Who's got more bravery here? I think it's Maverick, but he did cut across that corner. I wonder if he got a warning for that, trying to defend it. Tim has half a look at trying to send it into 11, but I don't think the braking zone is long enough there to really make a move unless you're right alongside them. He backs out, and he can't afford another mistake, can Tim? He can't afford to get damaged like he did in the feature race trying to gain a position, because Dark is right behind him. And if there's one thing worse than not gaining a position, it's losing one. So yeah, Tim has to keep his wits about here and not make a silly mistake like that. And he hits the back of Maverick. He's going to get... Maverick doesn't have the aid of DRS now, so I think this is going to be a textbook move for Tim, and it is. He nearly squeezed Maverick off the road, but Maverick just back out of that one. Penalty for Eisen in P2, and right now that'll be very costly. It'll cost him 2 places, and it puts Cali up into a net second, Passe into a net third. I'd love to see how quick Cali can be against Rocky Raccoon if he gets past Eisen, because right now he's kind of bottled up, isn't he, behind the Czech driver. But if he gets past, we'll see Cali's raw pace, and I think we're about to see that right now, because here he comes, slipstream DRS, and just like he did onto Tim, he pulls out, takes the racing line, tucks back to the outside of the track, and then sensibly just takes the apex, drives as if he hadn't even made an overtake. But very nicely done for Cali, up into second. He was a net second anyway. We'll now see what his pace is like. Now he's been unleashed to hunt down Rocky Raccoon. The gap 2.8 seconds for now. Further back we've got a battle between Maverick, Tim and Dark for P5, and you have to say that right now Dark looks more like he's fancying overtaking Tim than Tim does fancy overtaking Maverick. I wonder where Tim's pace has gone. If it was just a case of being quick in the wet, a bit of a wet merchant perhaps here, or if he's just not, something's getting to him a little bit and he's not really as quick as we know he is, because he's really slipping back. If you think much Maverick's fallen back behind Passe, Eisen and Cali, he was ahead of those guys just a few laps ago, so very odd that Tim is falling back this much. And I thought he'd be straight back past Maverick, but it's not happening. I don't know what else is not happening. So far Cali is not catching Rocky Raccoon. In fact, he's not getting away from Eisen either. Eisen went very, very wide at turn 1. And put Passe right onto the back of him. The number 1 Sporting Dams there. He's going to send it around the outside. That is a fabulous overtake from Ariel Passe. He had all the confidence in the world that Eisen wasn't going to try and run him out of road. And he claimed the corner as his own, and that was fabulous. Claimed P3 as his own, and now I said about can Cali hunt down Rocky Raccoon? Can in fact Passe overtake Cali? Both him and Eisen have penalties, but hopefully we still get some great racing. And just further back again, the Maverick Tim Dark battle and the Cali Passe Eisen battle are really where it's at right now on track. Don, Jordan, Ibo, Alex, Lars all cut adrift from the main group for various misadventures or reasons. See how Ibo's doing on those soft tyres. How are they looking? They're not looking too great, are they? A little bit used. They might shop in an antique shop by the end of the race, because you know, it's ill-advised to run soft tyre in any case through this track, and in F2 and sprint race. And Maverick has a penalty. Well, he was looking at getting Passe and Eisen on pens and getting another podium, but well, that's put pay to that. And it's right now, I think Londa Tim, if he can get past Maverick and find some of that pace we know he has, he can get right up to the back of Cali, at least in terms of positions, because of those penalties ahead of him. But here comes Passe down the inside of Cali, and Cali knows he's in a bigger fight than this. He backs out, concedes the position, and slots him behind. And Cali knew that that wasn't worth fighting. He's ahead of the Tim, and after the feature race, he's got even more leeway. He's to keep hold of the advantage he has rather than risk trying to extend it by a couple of points. I think we're at round 8. We've got 4 rounds left, 8 races after this one. So Cali very much playing the long game and just thinking about his championship lead. I think that he saw that Passe was going for that no matter what and just let the place go. He's got DRS back now, so he's got a free pass basically to take the place back, and he doesn't need asking twice. He reaches Passe just as they hit the braking zone, and the straight wasn't quite long enough for him there. He didn't get the exit he needed out of turn 7, not a big enough one anyway to get ahead before the braking zone. But again, he's backing out of it. He doesn't fancy having this fight at least more than it needs to be. He knows Passe's got a penalty, so he's in second place anyways, Cali. And I think he'll realise by this point that Rocky Raccoon is too quick, so he just needs to settle for second, and I think that is what Cali's doing. He's not taking the risks we'd expect. And Tim, still, he's falling back from Maverick. He's nearly out of DRS, and Dark 3 tenths behind him. I wonder, did Londa Tim pick up a little bit of wing damage? We can't see any visible damage there, but did he pick up a little bit on the opening shenanigans of turns 1 and 2 of lap 1? Because he's just not showing his pace right now. He's just not quick enough. And no disrespect to Dark or Maverick, but I think Londa Tim over the season has been quicker than these guys. So it's interesting that he's not here. Up ahead, Cali and Passe resume hostilities. The gap, a tenth of a second. Cali doesn't send it into 3. He'll wait for his chances down the DRS straight, and really this is a battle for pride right now, I think, just for the sake of finishing P2 on track, because they're losing time hand over fist to Rocky Raccoon ahead of them. Eisen's dropped well out of this battle after being right in the midst of it. Maverick, in fact, is catching up to Eisen, and that will be a battle for position because they both have penalties. Ibo finally admits defeat on those soft tyres with 4 laps to go, and comes in, and Cali again not making his move on Passe. And I can't fault him. I'd be exactly the same cautious driver myself. You don't want to risk those points when they're right there. If you get a chance to take a course, you take it, but don't be greedy, because it may cost you in the long run. So right now it seems that Tim and Dark is our principal battle on track. We've got a yellow flag. Is that Ibo coming out of the pit lane? I think it is. Lars also has pitted for softs, so presumably Lars will have a crack at fastest lap. Maverick was 1 second behind Eisen. He just slipped back a little bit, and you can see at the top of the picture Dark very, very close to Tim. Tim goes a little bit deep into the last corner, but no harm done there. Tim has now closed back up to the back of Maverick, and that will give him enough protection from Dark that it keeps the Campos driver behind him. Just trying to take stock of where we are. It's Rocky Raccoon that leads with 2.5 laps to go. Cali is second. Passe is a net third, and I think it's Londa Tim who's going to come out fourth ahead of Eisen and Maverick, and I think Dark will also jump those guys just about into 5th place. But that battle is very fluid right now because they are so close together. And thought Dark was going to pull out for a little look there, but he doesn't fancy it this lap. He's going to run out of laps if he wants to pass Tim. That is a battle for position. Neither has a penalty. Little slide for Dark coming out of turn 8. And he needs to... turn 9, sorry. He needs to make a move soon, because otherwise, you know, his window's gone. Tim doesn't have a penalty. He can't just sit behind him and hope the place presents itself or hope Tim gets a penalty. He needs to make something happen. He's clearly quicker than the Carlin right now. But he doesn't seem too eager, or he's not been able to get the exits he needs to make that overtake work, or make it stick. And now that Tim's in Maverick's DRS, I think that might have been Dark's last chance. He needs a mistake from Tim now, otherwise the place isn't going to head his way. And Calli's dropped back from Pato a bit. I think Calli has very much resigned himself to second place. He can just drop back, spot his apex, spot his braking zones, and not run into any penalties or dramas if Pato makes a mistake. It just gives him a little bit more leeway in terms of finding his way around the track. So Maverick is now really under pressure, isn't he, from Tim and Dark. 5 tenths of a second, less than a second, splitting the three of them. And I said a few laps ago, Tim needed Maverick's DRS to defend from Dark. Maverick now really needs Eisen's helping hand now for some protection from Tim and Dark. I mean, he's going to get both these guys. In fact, Tim's made a huge mistake through turn 6 and 7, and Dark nips through. I said at his chance gone. Well, it teaches me not to speak too soon, because Dark has a position, but it's Tim that's got the DRS back, and is Dark going to cover his place? He's not. He doesn't cover the inside line. He's not fighting it back. He let Tim bully him out of P6 there, and Dark was gifted an opportunity, and he didn't feel like accepting the gift, and he whipped out his receipt, and he's returned it to the shop he bought it from, and he's given Tim that place right back. Tim is 6th, Dark is 7th with just over a lap to go now. Calli still content to sit behind Passe. Fastest lap for Lars on softs. That is no surprise. Is there another chance for Dark? Tim has dropped out of Maverick's DRS, so you know, if Dark does fancy getting his elbows out, he can get past Tim. But you know, I don't like criticising drivers, but Dark's defence from Tim was very weak down the straight there. He could have covered the inside line or forced Tim to do something, otherwise it just looked very tepid and tame going through. And speaking of places of change, or changing places, Calli gets past Passe. The gap was 6 tenths per second I saw in sector 3, so I wonder if Passe made a mistake or ran deep at the last corner, because I don't think Calli was close enough really to make that kind of overtake into turn 1. Passe will have a chance to get him back, but as I said, only for pride, because Passe has that penalty. And Rocky Raccoon 5 seconds up the road, so no threat to his leadership, because he doesn't have a penalty either. So, one last lap, who fancies it? We've got the Maverick Tim Dark battle. Dark is just 4 tenths per second behind. Fabulous helicopter shot here, although he walks very wide through 7. That's going to compromise his run all the way down straight, and in fact it's cost him a few tenths. Here comes Passe back past Calli, fighting at turns 8 and 9. And again, Calli not in too much of a mood for a fight, I don't think, but he's going to have a look at nonetheless. And here he goes down the outside. Perhaps I was wrong and he did fancy a fight, because here he goes side by side through turn 10. Passe has the inside line, he's got more confidence there. Calli switches to the inside, backs out. There's not a long enough braking zone for any kind of overtake there. Maverick is now just a tenth of a second behind Tim. Tim's got past Maverick. I apologise for completely missing that, and they've touched wheels, and Tim's been tipped into a half spin, and Maverick takes his place. I wonder if the shooter will have something to say about that, but take nothing away from this man. Rocky Raccoon has done a fabulous job. He leads. He's led every lap since the start, and he now wins the sprint race. His 3rd win of the season, I do believe. His first sprint race victory, and it's going to be Passe second, and Calli side by side across the line. Calli nips it, I think, on track, and then it's going to be Eisen 4th. Maverick takes 5th on track. Tim 6th, Dark 7th, but drops behind on penalties. I think Maverick could be in. If he didn't have a penalty for himself, I think Tim would have reported him for that turn 11 incident. And then it's going to be Don 8th, Jordan 9th, and some way down is Alex, Lars and Ibo. So Passe does get his podium in the end. I will check. I don't think Passe has had one yet. Oh, he had a 3rd place in the Dutch feature race. So, second podium of the season for Passe, richly deserved. He's shown great and tremendous speed this season, but for one reason or another, it's not tended to come together for him in the races, but this time he made it count, and without that penalty, it could even have been second, even if he did lose on track. We'll have a look at what the exact gap was across the line in a second as we just wait for Lars to finish. And here he comes round the last corner now, but I said you can't take anything away from Callie in the feature race and take nothing away from Rocky Raccoon here. He has driven a splendid drive, and that is the kind of thing I was expecting to see from him more this season after Brazil. It's not happened for him. He has missed a couple of rounds at China and Abu Dhabi, but he's back on top after having not won since Netherlands Sprint. So fair play to him, because he's clearly quick, and on his day I think he could fight out with the Division 1 boys, but he's just not had most consistent a season. I think he just needs, when he's up front, when he's got the chance to lead from the front, he usually takes it. In the midfield it's difficult to stand out in FT, but Rocky Raccoon has got the win here today. And Callie as well, huge result for the championship for that, with Tim only down in 4th place. Or 5th place, sorry. So what was the gap in the end between Calais and Passe? It was 67 thousandths of a second, or 57 thousandths of a second, sorry. So really close between those guys, cracking racing all around. They came through the field from 8th and 10th to finish 2nd and 3rd respectively. So driver of the day, I'd say definitely Callie. He's been outstanding both races, kept a cool head when Passe threatened it, and when the wet weather threatened it, he did a fabulous job. So Rocky Raccoon wins from 2nd on the grid. It's Callie 2nd, Passe 3rd, Eisen is 4th, Londa Tim is 5th, ISRL Dark is 6th, Old Maverick is 7th, XL Don is in 8th, Ariel Jordan 9th. Disappointing race for him after it looked like he could have led coming through turn 1 and turn 2. Had a cracking start, but then just got spun round, and that was very costly for him. Alex 10th, Lars 11th, and Ibo is 12th. So with the exception of the first couple of corners of the sprint race, I think that was a really clean affair. I think both the incidents of note are the Jordan Tim one at turn 11, and then the Tim Maverick one also at turn 11. So Tim and turn 11, not a good mix today. It's not particularly a nice corner, particularly in these cars, because the front left is crying all the way through, and because it's such a wide corner that it feels tempting to maybe take a bit more track than perhaps the car is willing to let you or provide grip for. But I think with the exception of those two incidents, those two flashpoints, has been a cracking couple of races. The feature really came alive at the end with that those changeable conditions, and it was unlucky for Rocky Raccoon that it didn't go his way there, because he could have easily taken a double victory today. Nonetheless, as I said, tremendous racing, and I have to say France has thrown up more of a treat than it usually does, at least in real life. It's provided some great racing here, some tremendous side-by-side action. We've got 4 rounds left: Singapore, Austria, Belgium and Bahrain, and you have to say that Callie is more than in the driving seat now. He is in a dominant position in this championship. He outscored Londa Tim both races, VTI Doc and Ryan B not being here, of course, and then Jordan, who's behind them, didn't have a particularly great event. So yeah, superb from Callie, and a shout out to all of the podium finish as well. They all drove tremendous. I'm using the word tremendous a lot, aren't I? So we'll wrap up there, and I'm not sure who's going to be in the commentary box with me next week. It's a lottery. Could it be Nathan? Could it be Nolan? Could it be Matt? Could it be none of them? Could it be me and my dulcet tones talking to you all over again by myself? It was an experience, but yeah, me and my rambles will leave you there, and we'll see you next week for more Formula 2 action on the streets of Singapore.